Your Sunrise Smart Start today begins with breaking news overnight. A man is recovering this morning after he was shot just west of the Genesee River late last night.
Here's the update from RPD. That victim, 29 years old, was found on Frost Avenue around 11:30 and immediately taken over to the hospital for further treatment. Again, expected to live. At this point, no arrests have been made in that investigation.
Well, we now have an update on that breaking scene we brought to you yesterday morning in Macedon. Deputies can now identify the woman who was killed when she was trapped inside of her car as it sunk into a pond off of Route 31F. Investigators say 57-year-old Robin Sardone was driving south on Hants Road at about 4 a.m. Wednesday morning when she drove off the road and crashed into a retention pond that was at that intersection. In the radio chatter we heard with first responders, we could hear Sardone herself calling for 911, pleading for help before the call cut out. First responders searched the pond for hours. They were utilizing a drone and divers trying to find her, but eventually Sardone's body was pulled from that water. The investigation is still ongoing.
Track and rail repairs happening now in Fairport after a tractor trailer was hit by an eastbound train last night. Crews were still working to determine if there were any fixes needed for power lines affected by the impact. No injuries reported in all this. The police department is still reviewing witness statements and going through video footage from nearby to determine the exact cause of that collision.
We are looking ahead now to the calling hours for this young boy who was killed in a house fire in Penn Yan. Those going to be held this weekend. Police say 12-year-old Ethan Parker and his grandmother Patricia Stenz were trapped inside of their home on Cornwell Street when the fire started around 7:30 Friday morning. In fact, we're told Ethan was the one who called 911 and reported that fire. Officers say they did try entering, but the smoke and flames were too intense. The firefighters eventually able to reach that young boy and his grandmother, who sadly passed away later at the hospital. A faulty refrigerator has now been determined as the cause of the fire. Services for Ethan going to be Sunday at the Weldon Funeral Home in Penn Yan from 2 o'clock to 5 p.m. and a funeral service will follow right afterwards. A celebration of life for his grandmother Patricia, we're told, going to look forward to that on October 4th. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service offers a reward up to $150,000 if anybody can help them identify and arrest the suspects who are wanted in a string of assaults targeting mail carriers. In the last 2 weeks, we're told 5 different carriers have all been attacked in Rochester. And now there are calls for more protections, which might help those workers feel safer while they deliver our mail along the streets. In August of 2020, the Postal Inspection Service decided to remove its federal law enforcement officers from street patrols around the country. Well, Rochester's actually never seen a postal police presence. In Buffalo, they were around for a bit, but they were removed more than a decade ago.
The Inspection Service has a uniformed police force that it pays for, that it refuses to use. So the Inspection Service's law enforcement model is to investigate crime after the fact. So the letter carrier has already had the gun stuck in their face. It does little good to investigate the crime afterwards. I mean, yes, you want to arrest those criminals, but the damage is already done.
The Postal Inspection Service is investigating all of these crimes. In fact, here is more information on the reward notice posted to social media, the arrest and convictions of the suspects involved so far.
Sunrise traffic updates here, 6:51. We can tell you just clearing now in Perryton, an accident from earlier, 490 westbound at 31, that interchange with the exit nearby. 490, decent volume there picking up, but everything is moving along smoothly across 490 in and out of downtown. Same goes for 590 and 390 on the east and west sides. New this morning, just a few months after we heard that it was going to shut down for good, Black Button Distilling is here to stay. This comes after securing a new investment from Kentucky-based Black Star Company. Under the agreement, the founder and master distiller, Jason Barrett, will keep leading operations here in Rock, with all 9 employees keeping their jobs. The tasting room is still closed for the time being. Production will pick up again on Black Button's bourbon, rye, gin, and other favorites. In a statement, Barrett calls the new partnership bittersweet but hopeful. Black Star credits Rochester's overwhelming community support for raising awareness to make this deal happen to save the distillery.
Meanwhile, more recreational businesses in New York may soon be able to serve alcohol. The state liquor authority has changed its policies, now allowing places like batting cages, mini golf, escape rooms, and more to serve drinks. The licenses being put into place effective immediately.
Finally, happening this weekend, the annual HBCU Football Classic makes a return to Rochester.
Yeah, a very fun event here. But before the game, there's already kickoff events happening today at Blue Cross Arena, which is where we find Aran Spitzer detailing everything you'll want to look forward to. Aran.
Yeah, guys, it's all kicking off right here at Blue Cross Arena, an HBCU College Expo taking place today from 10 to 2, and there will be representatives from over 20 HBCUs. Now, for those who don't know, HBCUs, or historically black colleges and universities, are institutions founded for African American students prior to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Alums tell me they are full of culture and community. Karis Carr is a Howard University alumna, currently attends Morgan State University. She says attending an HBCU was inevitable for her since her family attended. She even went to Delaware State University for summer camp as a kid. Even still, she says the College Expo helped her make a decision. When she attended, she was only a sophomore and got an offer for a full ride.
I could not take it, obviously, because I wasn't a graduate yet. But it was super fun to sort of just meet all the different people from the different schools, and just talk about all the different things that their schools have to offer. And that sort of helped make my decision when I ended up graduating.
The Football Classic is on Saturday. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. That's Central State versus Lane College at the Rochester Community Sports Complex. For now, reporting, Aran Spitzer, News 8.
And just on cue, can be perfect for that coming up this weekend.
Yeah. Love to see it.
Is the sports complex in a dome? Is it, or?
No, it's the old soccer stadium on the northwest side. The big green seats, yellow seats.
There you go. So it should be open and sunshine for that. We'll wear some sunscreen.
You
maybe
always need
on that day. It should be gorgeous weekend for you. We do have the rain showers around now. And then those temperatures, how about that? It's mid to upper 70s, maybe around 80 for the Bills game on Sunday, and then more dry time next week. So glad to see that most of the fog's not too thick this morning, and even those rain showers. I'm thinking we're probably either tied or the driest September on record. As it wraps up the middle of next week, and I don't see any rain really in the extended forecast. So pretty incredible how little rain we've gotten this month.
And you were expecting a bit more with the showers we were getting this last week.
That's what models were showing. A few days ago, we're thinking ½ inch to an inch, and we've gotten maybe 0.06, 0.07.
By the way, there was talk at one point about putting a dome over that stadium. I've got that story coming your way on the podcast, Second Cup of Sunrise. How it came about, how it didn't happen, that and how I almost didn't make it to work this morning.
Oh, man.
9 o'clock on the Rochester First streaming app.
Yeah, we love to hear it. They've got interesting stories, these two. For now, thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise. CBS Mornings is up next, and your update from us locally in 30 minutes. Have a great day.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 on demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.